Hello, you're watching New Vision TV. This is News Around East Africa. My name is Lynn Komjisha. We start off with Kenya. 3 Somali officials with diplomatic passports were denied entry at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, Monday evening in a row that seems to be escalating between Kenya and its neighbor. A Somali-based radio station, Dalsan FM, identified the 3 as Osman Liban, Deputy Minister of Water and Energy, and Senators Iyas Ali Hassan and Zamzam Dahil. The 3 landed back in Mogadishu Tuesday morning after taking off from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, where they spent the night, according to officials. In Tanzania, Tanzania's National Environment Management Council has fined London-based miner Acacia Mining $2.4 million due to pollution from the company's North Mara gold mine. The fine over alleged failures of the mine's tailings storage facility is the latest in a series of disputes between the company, a subsidiary of Barrick Gold, and the government. The parties are involved in a tax dispute around $190 billion, and in January, the government fined Acacia $129,143 million due to pollution from the North Mara tailings storage facility. News coming in from South Sudan. South Sudan government said Monday that it may soon close some of its embassies due to the worsening economic crisis. The world's youngest nation has been struggling to pay its diplomats and maintain its embassies around the globe. South Sudan has diplomatic presence in many countries in Africa, the Middle East, Europe, Asia, and America. News coming in from Rwanda. Experts at the start of the 5th Regional Forum for the Partnership for Skills in Applied Sciences, Engineering and Technology in Kigali observed that African countries should work together to invest in digital skills among the youth in higher learning institutions and technical and vocational education and training to harness the potential of technologies. You're still watching New Vision TV. Let's take a look at news around the world. To start off with here in Africa, Libya, water supplies the 2.5 million residents of Tripoli were restored 2 days after they were cut off by gunmen, officials said Tuesday, allowing the besieged capital to escape shortages that could have caused a humanitarian crisis. The United Nations had condemned the closure as possible war crime. Libya's internationally recognized government had accused forces loyal to Eastern Commander Haftar Khalifa, which have been trying to capture Tripoli, of being behind the blockage. Haftar's forces denied they were responsible for cutting off the water. A commander in his Libyan National Army said they had sent reinforcements to secure the pipe. On Saturday, an armed group had stormed a pumping station some 400 kilometers south of Tripoli, forcing employees to turn off the pipes, the company said, without giving more details. Supplies to city residents were not immediately halted because the water system holds 2 days of capacity. News coming in from Malawi. Polls have opened in Malawi after a closely fought election campaign as President Peter Mutharika battles to hold off 2 serious rivals in a race that focused on corruption allegations and economic development. Polling stations open at 6 a.m. and will close at 6 p.m. with around 6.8 million registered voters eligible to elect a new parliament and local government councillors at more than 5,000 polling stations across the landlocked country. The election is the first since a new law forced parties to declare large donations and ban the once common practice by candidates of giving out cash. Mutharika, who has been in power since 2014, faces opposition from his own deputy, Saulos Chilima, and former Baptist preacher Lazarus Chakwera. His bid for a second term highlights the improvements he said he has made to the economy, as well as the road and electricity infrastructure across the southeastern African country. The news coming in from Indonesia. Indonesian President Joko Widodo comfortably won re-election last month's poll, an official count showed Tuesday, throwing the spotlight on his opponent, who refused to concede as his supporters gathered in the capital in protest at the result. The General Election Commission confirmed unofficial counts by private pollsters in the April 17th election, giving Widodo 55.5% share of votes against 44.5% for Prabowo Subianto. Widodo won more than 85 million votes over a total of 154 million cast in the world's third largest democracy, but Prabowo told reporters he believed there had been widespread cheating and about 800 supporters gathered in a peaceful protest. The retired general pledged he would continue to make legal efforts in line with the constitution to defend the mandate of the people. A relaxed-looking president, Widodo pledged on Tuesday to be a leader for all Indonesians. From the USA, President Donald Trump warned Monday Iran would be met with great force if it attacked U.S. interests in the Middle East, and government sources said Washington strongly suspects Shia militias with ties to Tehran were behind a rocket attack in Baghdad's Green Zone. His comments came as two U.S. government sources said the United States strongly suspects Shia militias with ties to and possibly encouragement from Iran fired a rocket Sunday into Baghdad's heavily fortified Green Zone. The sources, who are familiar with U.S. national security assessments and spoke on condition of anonymity, said the United States was still trying to establish which militia fired the Katyusha rocket on Sunday and the extent, if any, of Iranian involvement. Iran has rejected allegations of its possible involvement in attacks last week, and Iran's Iraqi allies rushed to condemn Sunday's rocket blast. In China, foreign investors remained enthusiastic about China, the foreign ministry said on Tuesday, following U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that his tariffs are causing companies to move production away from the world's second-largest economy. Trump said in an interview aired on Sunday that his tariffs on Chinese goods are causing companies to move manufacturing out of China to Vietnam and other Asian countries, adding that any agreement to end a trade war with China cannot be a 50-50 deal. No further trade talks between top Chinese and U.S. trade negotiators have been scheduled since the last round ended on May 10th, the same day Trump raised the tariff rate on $200 billion worth of Chinese products to 25% from 10%. Trump took the step after China sought major changes to a deal that U.S. officials said had been largely agreed. Since then, China struck a sterner tone in its rhetoric, suggesting that a resumption of talks aimed at ending the 10-month trade war was unlikely to happen soon. News coming in from Sri Lanka. Weeping Sri Lankan Catholics lit candles and prayed in a memorial service outside a bombed church on Tuesday, 1 month after the Easter bombings by Islamist militants killed more than 250 people. The April 21st attacks, claimed by militant group Islamic State, targeted 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels, shocking the island and shattering a decade of relative peace after the end of a 25-year civil war. Hundreds of worshippers, including survivors and relatives of the victims, gathered outside St. Anthony's Shrine, a Catholic church in the capital, Colombo, for the ceremony. That was news around East Africa and news around the world. Thank you for watching. My name is Lynn Komjisha.